Hello and welcome to the Bodysurf podcast with your budgie boys Tim and Owie, hydrated by Hairy Man Brewery, and we're back for another week. How you doing, Owie?
Yeah, I've been better, Tim. I've been a lot better. I've been a lot worse.
You're having a shocker with this microphone.
Yeah,
it keeps
this
attacking you.
2 weeks in a row I've chipped my tooth. I actually did chip my tooth this time. It's not too bad. First time I chipped my tooth was actually at Warner Brothers Movie World. Yeah.
Hollywood on the Gold Coast.
Hollywood on the Gold Coast, that's right. And we'll be on the Gold Coast in a couple of weeks.
Can we do a few theme parks? I don't think we'll have time.
Yeah, see, I don't think we will have a lot of time. And are they open?
That's a good point.
Anyone know in the comments?
Definitely. I don't think they're open. They're definitely not open. So, well.
Oh, my teeth are safe.
Yep. That's good. I always, I love that film Dumb and Dumber. Jim Carrey has a chipped tooth in that film, and I think he just took out his little. He had like a little. What do they call that when you?
Yeah, like filling sort of thing. Yeah,
and he looked very good in that movie.
A cap. Gold capped teeth.
Is it a veneer?
Veneer?
Is that the word
veneer?
we're looking for?
I thought that's what they did on like houses. Housing veneer.
I'm sure someone knows what we're
veneer. Yeah, I'm getting. Yeah, the audience is agreeing with me. The audience of one.
We've got a great guest on the show tonight, all the way from California. Sam Leaman is joining us. We talk a bit about body surfing. He's keen to cover a few events for us and maybe be our US correspondent, which would be really handy.
Yeah, but now I know we said we were getting the big names, and there's no bigger name than Sam Leaman.
Well, you confused him with Daryl Leaman.
Daryl or Darren Leaman?
Darren Leaman.
Darren Leaman, yes. Former coach of the Australian cricket team.
Now, did he...
And a big boy, too.
Did he leave in disgrace, or was it all good? Because there's a bit of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Was he involved?
The ball tampering. Yeah, I think he lost control of the team.
Yeah.
And so they've gone, well, it's from the coach down, mate. Out you go.
And then they replaced him with former cricket great. Oh, who's the current coach?
Justin Langer.
That's it, Langer. Great bowler, wasn't he?
No, batsman.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't he have the long hair and something in someone else?
No, batsman. But mate, pays to see you watching the game.
I got into cricket very late, like as a fan watching it, because I never played. I was very uncoordinated when it comes to sports, and that's why I'm such an expert when it comes to body surfing.
Yes, that's right. Well, actually, the first test match you went to was Hussey's last match, and we went for a body surf at Tamarama the morning of.
That's right, and it was a boiling hot day, and you were soaking a towel in just water from the taps just to cool down.
Yeah.
Did we get a bit of sunstroke that day, do you think?
Yeah, big time, actually. Yeah.
But a good surf.
Great surf.
I remember hitting the bottom of Tama, like coming down real hard, and then we went and had a nice chicken roll.
We did, yeah. And there's a photo of that day where my leg is not in the photo for some reason. Every time I look at it, like my leg should be there. I'm standing there. And I'm not standing on one foot, but my leg's not there. Go back and look at the tape.
Are you just doing what seagulls sometimes do when they try and scab a chip?
Oh,
They'll hide one leg and you go, oh, look at this poor
under
disabled
the towel. Yeah,
seagull.
that's right.
Give it a chip and it's got two legs.
Yeah.
It's just standing like that.
Yeah.
Silly seagulls.
Silly seagulls.
I remember getting that chicken roll. I don't want to sit on this for too much, but this is a pretty big topic. When we went to order, you would get a piece of paper and you'd just tick the ingredients you wanted. Yes. And then you'd hand it in and they would make you roll. Why don't more restaurants do that, even if it's on the iPad or something?
Believe it or not, we actually did that today.
Oh, where did you go?
Myself and April, we went to Chicken I call it Chicken Effects. It's just food exchange, apparently.
Yes.
But the marketing got me with the whole logo thing, FX and a chicken on it. I call it Chicken Effects.
Yeah.
What do they say? Potato. And so anyway, we're ordering a salad. And we go, oh, can we have this, and this in the salad? And she goes, points to the card, gives us a pencil.
Yeah.
We've had to fill it in.
Yeah. It's like you're doing a golf scorecard. Like, what's your handicap? Oh, a bit of lettuce and cucumber.
That's right. But the thing is, we're in the COVID.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be
Touching pencils and things, yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of our local, mate, you hear about the local?
Yeah, I did a bit of a deep dive to see if we were okay. A local pub
And
that
we're not.
we frequent, has a bit of an outbreak. It's not as bad as they think. There's a few other ones in Sydney. And I was talking about this the other day. Like, I've been going out to a lot of pubs since they've reopened, and I feel like when you go to these sort of places, if they let you in, they have some sort of control. They're counting numbers, they're signing you in, they're spacing people out, they're making sure not too many people are coming in. Over the last week, I haven't seen any of that. And that's why I'm very worried about this second wave, and we've seen it in Melbourne. I think we're not too far away from that.
Yeah, and the medical expert of the Budgie Boys would agree with you, Tim. He thinks in about 3 weeks, we're going to be back to full lockdown.
I can't go back. And here's the thing. Say I got COVID. I would maybe be on the bench for 2 weeks. If we go into another lockdown, that's 6 weeks, maybe longer. So it seems weird. We need to work out a better system than what we're doing because it's not working.
Nah, yeah, I don't think it's working either. And I will agree with you on the restaurant front. I have not seen a lot of social distancing going on lately.
I don't want to name names, but we went out somewhere else and it was
packed,
busier than I've ever seen it.
Well, because we normally go to the Blind Bear, which is Ben, the owner of the Blind Bear, is very strict on his numbers. So I went in on Saturday night, and he goes, "Listen, mate, I don't think you're going to be able to get in." He found one spot for me, but he has a capacity of 30 downstairs. Yeah. And the other bar we went to is probably maybe, let's say, twice as big as the other bar. Just
way bigger, wouldn't you say?
Or it's bigger, but it's like square meterage. I would probably say it's maybe two, maybe three.
Well, we went to a few places on the weekend. So
yes. Well, the first place we were at, and they had definitely more than 60 people in there. Yeah,
and it's concerning. But I go out to have dinner most nights, and I like having a beer most nights, and because the government has allowed us to do that, I just think I'm going to go in a bar or a pub or a restaurant and there's only going to be maybe like 10 people in there. And I don't mind waiting. I might wait at the door for 20 minutes. That's cool as long as it's safe. So that's not happening. So should we start not going out as much?
Yeah, well, the medical experts, that's what they're saying. They're pull-up stumps, boys. Darren Leaman. Everyone get home, stay home. That's the message from the experts.
But we're jumping on a plane in a few weeks. And this looks like it's still going ahead. I've been emailed a little bit by the aeroplane company I'm going with, the aeroplane company, the airline I'm flying with.
Yeah, Ansett.
The one that's still here. And they're changing things all the time, but they're not saying you got to wear a mask, you got to do this. I'm interested to see how we go jumping on this flight. I think they're trying to cram a lot of people in because they don't want too many planes leaving. So that's going to be interesting. And then when we come back, we don't have to do anything, do we? We don't have to isolate?
Not unless we go into full lockdown. If we do, you possibly may have to go into 14 days. Now, April was on a plane today.
Oh.
And she's like, she told me the social distancing is great at the airport.
Okay, good.
As soon as you're on the plane, it's exactly how it was before.
You're sitting next to some old digger from Melbourne. Next minute, you're in a hotel that you have to pay for now. It's $3,000.
That's right. But even before COVID, if you and it always happened to me, you'd always sit next to someone who was violently ill. And even it was bad then. Imagine how it is now. The slightest sneeze and you're like, oh, I'm gone here.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Mate, I'm an elite athlete. I can't be next to sick people. I'm competing at Slidefest.
I don't want it. I've never met a sick person.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And over the next few...
I'm looking forward to it.
I am. We've been stuck here for so long. I'm excited to get on a plane. I'm excited to go hang out with the Goldie Sliders. I'm excited to surf a break I haven't swum at before.
Come on, man. It's NRL.
It's NRL. It's body surfing. Get excited, people. But we do have to be careful at the same time. So there's a nice balance there. We should mention as well, Corey Sainsbury, cute boy Corey, shaved his blonde locks on the weekend. We went out for the Bay Body Bashers meet at Gate 8. It was a lot of fun. It was very cold. we, the Budgie Boys, were all in wetsuits.
Mm.
The Bait Bay Body Bashers were all in budgies.
Yes.
And we were called cowards.
Yeah. Well, fair enough if they're calling me a coward because I didn't even get in the water. But what's new? But I didn't see a lot of body surfing equipment from the Bait Bay team. I didn't see any flippers.
I think when they more jump in and just get wet and muck around in the shore breaks. And it was, you saw the surf, it was quite interesting. There were some bigger waves out the back, but they were breaking really far out. There was a surf comp on for longboards, and they had a great little setup. But the break we had to surf out, that was a long way out the back, and some of the waves were looking a bit full, and I was worried if I swim out all that way, I might not be able to get back. So we were just mucking around the shore. He's practicing our spins and just being complete idiots.
Well, see, isn't that embarrassing for us that the team that meets up don't take any equipment down, barely stay in the water, they catch one or two little shories, but still we cannot beat them at a competition.
Yeah. I think they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we don't see.
Steroids.
Sunday morning is more of a social gathering. I think
okay.
they're putting in the hard yards and training throughout the week, and that's how they dominate us.
What is this? In the pool?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. They are great swimmers.
Mate, they're eating microwavable protein meals. They're going to the gym. They're getting in the pool, doing laps. When the surf's up, they're jumping in, and they're fit. They're competition fit. And what do?
Go to the pub.
We go to the pub. We have a punt, and then most of the time when we are at the beach, we're debating where to swim.
Yes. Is there a problem here?
There's not enough time in the water.
I spoke to a client today, and he's used to surf, and he goes, one time we got up, he lives in the eastern suburbs, he goes, we checked South Maroubra, it was pretty good. And we go, oh, we won't surf here. So we went down, we checked Cronulla, wasn't as good as South Maroubra. We got in the car again, went down, checked Stanley, wasn't as good as South Maroubra. So we kept driving. We went down to Dafto. It wasn't as good as South Maroubra. Got all the way to Kiama and then went to Jiroa.
Oh, my goodness.
And he goes, and we ended up driving home in the same day and surfing at South Maroubra. And if that's not the Budgie Boys, I don't know what is. Because it's me. I like driving around and checking as many spots as I possibly can. And with the hope of finding the elusive, clean offshore barrel. But really, at the end of the day, you're going to have fun no matter where you jump in.
Yep.
And often when we've looked at surfing, oh, it's pretty crap. When you get out there, it's fun anyway.
Exactly.
So the lesson here is where you meet up, just jump in where you meet up.
Yep. And I think a lot of the Budgie Boys would agree with that. We should also mention that Matthew Bond, head of childcare,
The Hawk,
ran into a bit of trouble on the weekend. He, I don't know how he did this, but he locked 2 sets of keys in his car.
Yeah, so he's got his primary set of keys, which we all hold, but then he keeps his spare set of keys inside his car, which I find quite stupid. And most people would.
Yeah.
But I was speaking to someone the other day about this situation. They go, well, if you lose your keys elsewhere, then locking them in your car, it's actually really helpful because you could be anywhere and help is only a broken window away. Because, I mean, if you lose say you're out whoop-de-doo, you lose your keys, you got no way of getting home, at least you can break the window of the car, get in, you've got a spare set there. But if you do the Bondi and lock both of them in the car at the same time, and then he had to get the locksmith out and everything, it was ridiculous.
And he even said that's a surf at Urban Surf. That's how much it costs. So, it's $200.
Yeah, because he was like umming and ahhing about going to Slide Fest.
That's a flight to Slide Fest.
And now I'd like to say that was the stupidest thing a Budgie Boy did that weekend, but it's not. Robbie and I went to Wally's Wharf on Sunday. Now, we took the boat out on Saturday. We caught a couple of slimy mackerel.
Yeah.
And that's not a euphemism. We actually caught a couple of slimy mackerel. Now, on Sunday, we took the boat out again. I sent him a message in the morning. Hey, you want to take the boat out? We'll go check Reef Power out. So he goes, yeah, that sounds good. We went to Wally's Wharf. Now, Wally's Wharf is called Wally's Wharf because people are Wallies. They're stupid. And it's a quite steep wharf.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get the boat in the water, and Robbie goes to me, you're going to go stand out on the jetty, and I'm going to pass you a boat. Fine. Works good. I should have just hopped in the boat and drove the boat to the jetty while Robbie went and parked the car on the trailer. So Robbie goes, 1, 2, 3, throws me the boat. The boat misses the jetty, misses me, and starts going into the middle of the hacking. Robbie had to jump in and swim over to the boat and get it and drive the boat back. One of the all-time great yarns. Idiot. Complete fool. And I'm never going to let him... I will never let him down on that. And so in one weekend, Bondi's locked his keys in the car and Robbie has thrown the boat in the middle of the hacking. So, swings and roundabouts, mate.
That sums us up. That absolutely sums us up. Well, let's get into our interview then. We're going to cross to Sam Leaman in California.
We are.
Who, America's going through a bit of stuff right now. And,
Huge.
I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about that. So let's cross to him right now.
Okay. Is the lighting good? Can you
Yeah, it's great. It looks good.
put some cardboard and shit in the windows? Because we got a lot of afternoon sun. We got a lot of afternoon sun streaming in through here.
Very professional.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best with what I've got. But yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be on.
All right, let's get into it. Sam, welcome to the podcast, man. All the
Thrilled to be
way
here.
from America.
Yes, sir.
What's going on over there right now, man? It seems pretty crazy.
It's a wild time, I mean, we're under quarantine. We're under curfew from protests. I'm quarantined up with my girlfriend right now on Seal Beach, which is a little bit south of Los Angeles, about probably 30 minutes south of Los Angeles. So, and if you're familiar with Long Beach, it's like right next door neighbors to that. So they've been doing a lot of protesting. Out of respect for her family, though, I have been unfortunately been able to stay inside, but I've been trying to do my part and donate, do things from the sidelines almost, but just trying to educate people and get people activists. I'm a political science major, American politics. So yeah, so this is kind of right up my alley. I go to UC San Diego, so I kind of, #1 surf school in the United States, Surfline ranks, not for competition, but just because we got all the beaches just right down the street from our dorm rooms. So yeah, I kind of get a little mixture of both.
It's crazy to think that America's going through a couple of big things right now. You mentioned that you're in isolation. Are you allowed to go outside? Are you allowed to go for a swim?
Yeah,
what are you allowed to do?
Yeah, things are really loosening up for sure. I'm definitely still a little trepidatious. A lot of my friends are like pre-med students. My mom's immunocompromised. My girlfriend's brother actually tested positive for it a while ago, and he had some underlying health issues too from the past. So everyone's in my circle has been really conscientious. I'm aware that other people don't necessarily have to be, but things are opening up. To answer your question, restaurants slowly, bars slowly. I've seen a lot of my friends going out. I'm probably gonna grab a little distancing drink with them because I just turned 21. So here in America, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can legally, enjoy. So we're gonna do that for the first time. But yeah. It's very slow. I have still been distancing at the beach. Beaches are open. We had a little catastrophe. I'm from Newport Beach originally, so we had. If the news got to you guys there, but we had big time waves of people way earlier, like early April when everyone was still supposed to be indoors.
Yeah.
I went down to go for a little body surf, and my friends and I were like, maybe we'll try. We hear there's a rumor that people are just going to be freaking storming the beaches right now, but we tried to go and. It was too much. We couldn't even find a spot on the beach to sit down comfortably and conscientiously. So we had to leave. But now I'm back in the water. I've been body surfing the last 4 days. Enjoying it. Good times. A couple good waves. I sent you some of the clips. They're pretty subpar. But we're doing it here. We're trying to get back into it.
That's
definitely
great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like beaches for us in Australia were one of the things you could still do when everything was locked down. So. Same sort of situation. We had a lot of people flocking to the beach.
Yeah.
We've had a few public holidays, like long weekends, we call them. And
Memorial Day, yeah.
yeah, and that's when people, like, well, it's actually a long weekend. It's the Queen's birthday here this
Oh,
weekend.
okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So,
Okay.
so a lot of people, flock to the beach because it's one of the only things you can do. But then
Yep.
you've got to be careful that you're not going to have a second wave of
Absolutely.
the virus.
What everyone's talking about, right?
In Australia, man, like we were talking the other night, we don't know anyone who has coronavirus. It hasn't affected us that much. We've had a few cases here, but it's all been under control.
Absolutely.
In America, it's a very different story. As you mentioned, your girlfriend's brother got the virus, but like the death toll is quite large.
It's going up a lot, and people were acting like people were acting like looser when it was still going up too. It hadn't even flattened or stagnated at all. So it was
And I heard a theory. You'll probably know a lot more about this being a political science major.
We'll see. Let's see what you got for sure.
I heard a theory that Donald Trump is not really handling the riots very well because he wants to use this and kind of blame you guys for spreading the virus more.
It's definitely been interesting because here it's been talked about a lot. Not really with that kind of more like Donald Trump's going to like do this. There's been kind of quips here and there that he might be excited and stuff, but people are questioning what's going to do. I mean, all the things that I've seen, messages that my friends and people have been sending around, it's a lot of wear masks. But the sentiment from a lot of people who are going out there is, I mean, this man was killed. I mean, during the pandemic, not because of the pandemic. So I think there's a sentiment here that, this is almost more of a pressing issue for a lot of people than the worried about spreading the virus. And it's a lot of young people, and a lot of them, again, are still in college. So they're either kind of already away from their older parents, or they don't really care as much about that. But, so with that combined sentiment I talked about earlier, people kind of like not caring as much too, it's definitely fueling the kind of combination of this, like, second wave potentially. But again, people are really just, almost using it to just still get out there and make their voices heard, almost showing it matters that much, I agree. I think it does matter that much. If I tell people, if I wasn't here and there wasn't other people, that I'd be putting objectively at risk very clearly, if I was back down in San Diego in my own little, just like, room and stuff and bubble, I would be out there too right now. But unfortunately, there's just certain things that, you can donate your money, you can donate your education, you can donate what you know. And what I've been learning, and just what you've been learning, is just that, there needs to be a change in reconstruction for sure. So
yeah. 2020 has been a real big write-off, pretty much.
It really has been,
We're halfway through the year, and like nothing positive has come out of this year. Your president is up for re-election soon, and the Democrats are still trying to work out who's gonna have a crack.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Biden. It's going to be Biden having the crack. So it's going to be Biden. So it's real. Who is Biden going to pick alongside him to have their way with Donald Trump? But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be very interesting because, I mean, just if you look at other elections too in the past, things like that have happened at this time have almost been like a blip on the radar. Now, obviously, this is much bigger than a blip, and it's going to be, and we just have to hope that we can carry this energy on into November. We have the October surprise, where the big information gets dropped to kind of stir things around, like the email stuff. So, again, you just got to just really try and hold. It feels like you're trying to hold tight to the reins, trying to keep it on message and keep it directed to, make sure that we can get them out in November. But absolutely.
Well, the thing is, in America, voting isn't compulsory. So whoever you put up as the Democratic nominee has to get people out to vote. So. All those non-voters, they need to really rally together and try and get them out in numbers. A lot of people say Bernie Sanders was the man who was going to get people out to vote.
I mean, I'm going to say he was my guy. I'm not shy about that, so I don't really have to really pretend that I don't have an affiliation on the show. I mean, he was, I was backing him. I have some resentment and stuff towards Biden. I can policy, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I mean, we just need to get Trump gone.
Do you think? Do you think
go.
Joe Biden can get people out to vote?
That's what I'm concerned about. I'm hoping that with these current protests and the way things are, maybe it'll make people just realize, kind of like I have, that what, we can be idealistic and I can know my stuff and my books and my philosophy, but at the end of the day, unfortunately it's who we've got is who we got. And I don't know, I was going to do a protest vote. I was going to write in his name. Didn't want to vote for Biden. But again, as I told people who've been pushing me, I'm just saying, again, once I get to November, I'm probably going to have to pull the trigger because I won't be able to, my conscience will be heavier if Trump wins and I didn't vote versus if I voted for Biden, who doesn't stand for everything that I stand for,
What's the legal age for voting in America?
18.
It's weird how you can vote before you can drink.
You can go in the military. You can have a gun and die for the country. You can die for this country at 16 or 17 if you look at what happened in Vietnam. So, I mean, yeah, it's all
a frothy beer.
Yeah, I do. I have my Ballast Point, San Diego UCSD alum local brewery. So I'm just trying to, stay cold.
See, I was we were chatting online the other day, and one of my big dreams is to go and do a bit of a stint in LA, and I'm really keen to move there. Great body surfing scene, but also a great stand-up comedy scene.
Yeah, it's kind of the best of both worlds for sure. Absolutely.
But I'm worried about American beer. Like Australia has very nice beer. Will I be able to make the transition?
I think, again, given the fact that I've just entered the realm, I'm starting to kind of play catch up, even though I've been in college fraternity, American fraternity, we're not really going for quality. It's just like however much quantities you can get at the cheapest. So my palate has definitely not been at all, introduced to anything great, but I can definitely speak for this. It's an India Pale Ale. And it's an IPA, so it's a little. My palate has definitely not been at all, introduced to anything great, but a little kick. It's 7%. I enjoy that, Nice. But I think
it's cool that you can't drink until you're 21 because it took me a long time. We can drink when we're 18 over here. It took me a long time to work out what my drink was.
Yeah, definitely.
At least you're mature enough now to kind of start off with a nice IPA.
Definitely. I've definitely, again, in San Diego, it's a big brewery scene, so definitely I would say if you want, it's only probably gonna be from LA to San Diego about maybe 2 hours, no traffic, go at the right time. But yeah, we go and it's just, you can just drive around, walk around this little area, kind of like small little industrial, parts. And they have these little cute little back shop places. And you just go in and you just kind of taste what you like. And, they definitely, the older guys, obviously, who take you out and around, just try and like explain to you, this is what this is what that, do you taste this, you taste that. And you kind of try and find your way the best you can.
That's cool. As you know, the podcast is sponsored by Hairy Man Brewery.
That's what I was literally telling I was literally going to put like a sticker over it that was like one of those, like American beer, because I didn't want to ruin and mess with your guys' with your brand and your sponsorship. I know.
It would be cool if we could work out a way to ship you a case, because I guess there's no other way for you to try an Australian beer.
I hear about a Hairy Man, Hey, I'm also doing a shout out. I've on your podcast, basically, it's been my podcast for my quarantine. And I've been going on walks. I've lost about 25 pounds. I don't know how the kilos work out with that, but I've dropped quite a lot just going on daily walks and runs and listening to you guys talk about, because I couldn't go in the water then because it was too locked down. So I was just mind surfing with your narration over it almost.
That's so cool, man.
It was pretty great.
As a foreigner listening to a very Australian podcast,
do
you understand a lot of the references and the things we're talking about?
That's okay. I'm not going to lie. That's kind of why it's nice sometimes to walk and run to it, because if I get in my own little thoughts and you guys are talking about granola or something, I can kind of just, I do look up kind of, I try and get my bearings almost geographically, because you guys talk about going up the coast and down the coast. And, you're talking about going to Womp Camp and you're talking about some gate that's closing. I'm like, what the hell is that about? Like, I couldn't even picture what that looked like in my mind, like some sort of game reserve that you guys open the gates to and like drive through. Like, I got the picture kind of. My grandfather, I guess my step grandfather, but I never met the actual one. He was from New Zealand, so
cool.
I have a little ties there from Auckland, Mount Maunganui, if you're familiar at all. So
lovely.
I went there once when I was like 11 or 12, but it was beautiful. Have you
ever been to Australia?
I have not. I want to go really badly. It definitely seems like a type of temperament and people and energy that definitely fits my kind of vibe,
And I think it's cool with social media now that you can kind of link in with the body surfing community. If you needed a place to crash, there'd be 20 guys that you could.
That'd be amazing. I would, as long as I just got to get money save money for that expensive ass plane ticket. But
it's a long flight as well.
It is. I've taken it once when I was younger, and my God, that is I think we might have gone nonstop on one of them, on one of the ways. And that was intense. That was a long time in a little metal box in the sky. But no, I would make it for sure to get in the water and just, in Australia and just, enjoy the sun and surf. It sounds wonderful. You know, you talk about coming to stand up in LA, and I almost want to go to Australia or Sydney and try.
We
out the
could do an
scene.
exchange, yeah.
That'd be hilarious. It's like a Bodysurf comedy exchange program.
Before we get into the body surf stuff, I do want to quickly talk
course.
about stand-up comedy because you're an open micer like I am. And what's the scene like in San Diego? You mentioned there's a few clubs.
I love the scene. The scene in San Diego, honestly, with how good the waves are, because it's better than LA by far as far as the surf you're gonna get. So I mean, for me personally, I almost am tempted to like start off in San Diego downtown because they got the Comedy Store in La Jolla, which does
cool.
And that's right where I am. That's like the closest one to me because I'm in La Jolla in San Diego. It's a little bit north of the city. It's about probably 30-minute drive north of the city. So the city's a little far for me to get to on college nights or if I'm working. Yeah. But you can always set up for the La Jolla open mic night. And downtown there's at least 5 or 6, if not more, just in the city that people hit to night after night, like a bar crawl. You know?
Yeah. The La Jolla Comedy Store is that like a franchise of the LA one?
It's like the second location. Yeah, they've got an Instagram page and everything, and obviously they don't pull as many as big names as the one in recurring. I mean, because obviously the one in LA, you got Chris D'Elia, you got Rogan, all these guys going up night after night after night. Yeah. So, but the San Diego one has its like kind of like more like niche guys. That's the thing. They're good. They're good. Oh, the San Diego, they're very developed, and if they're older, maybe they're younger, but they've gotten. If you know Ben Glebe, he actually ran for president. If you're familiar, he was one of our like 20,000 candidates, but he's a comedian.
All right.
He went to my alma mater, UCSD. And one of my poli-sci professors like knew him. But yeah, there's like these local guys that are very developed and have their shows and specials that float around for sure. So again, a good place to start for me, especially because like it's one of those things where I don't know if I'm going to throw my eggs all in one basket and make that classic famed LA trip, to try and make it. So it's almost more like I can do some kind of work on the side on SD and then, see if I'm, got the chops or if it's something that really, which I think it's going to be something I'm going to want to do.
How far would it take you to drive to the LA Comedy Store?
From where I am in Seal Beach right now, I mean, no traffic. It could probably take me around probably 30 minutes, maybe.
Oh, dude, I drove an hour the other night to get up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's just for one place. I mean, you would be feasting here. You'd be feasting. Once I've been using this time to almost be like a Dangerfield and just collect my material and then just come out on the scene with just like catalogs of shit that I've been just thinking during all my free time. I'm sorry, as a poli-sci major, I'm not my workload's not too.
I probably should explain for the audience. I feel like you don't get a lot of the Australian references. I should probably just explain who Rodney Dangerfield is.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think many of our listeners would know who Rodney?
Rodney Dangerfield is an old. I mean, I don't get no respect. I mean, I'm not going to try and do it, but he's basically just an old form comedian from 50s, 60s maybe, and he just basically he started off like my age, young, like in 25, and he kind of didn't really make it, and then he basically kind of went and became like a sheet metal salesman, I think, for years. Had all this material just because he was a funny guy, and then he just kind of burst back on the scene like in his 40s, I think it was his 40s, and just went on to Carson and all these shows, and that's where he was one of those classic late bloomers. You hear it and it happens. Mark Maron, I mean, not even, but someone like him kind of gets their second wind or their second shot.
Yeah. But Rodney was that real second success story. Like came back kicking, and I remember there's a story he did like the Ed Sutherland show. Yeah, it was a huge show back in the day. So he went out and did stand-up comedy, did his routine, and like he was still selling the metal.
Was he really? I didn't. I guess there is an overlap between artists, right?
And one of his clients were like, "Were you on Ed Sutherland last night?"
I can imagine. No, that's what I love about almost the old comedy scene, even up until like the 80s, because like I feel like nowadays, if you're getting it to the point where like you're going on Fallon or Kimmel, your day job is far behind you. And in those days, it just didn't work out that way. Also, with how much they were getting paid and what it's funny because you don't get much of those stories anymore. Yeah,
that's right. There was a guy, Joe Mackey, I think his name is. He was on like late night talk shows doing like tight fives, and he was still working, a HR job.
That's great though. That's awesome. I love. I mean, if you know the The Daily Show with like Jon Stewart, now Trevor Noah. there's a great Jewish correspondent, Adam Lowitz, and he rarely comes on, kind of a bald guy. And he was like, and you come to find out, he's like, has the whole background in constitutional law, of course. But, you know, these guys have these full careers and, you know, still practicing things. It's fun what you can do with comedy, though, because it really is just you speaking your mind about whatever you know and whatever is close to you. So, you know, I mean, people have their passions and they're going to stick with what they're going to do. That's almost more honorable, in my opinion.
We've got a big name guy, I guess, in the body surfing community. His name's Belly Slater. He's been on the podcast before.
I follow Belly. I definitely had seen his floatings around because I follow the Wedge Crew guys, of course. So there is that connection. You know, Tim Burnham I see as one of the guys that one of the only Newport mutuals that follows Budgie Boys, and so I'm familiar with him. And yeah, it's interesting. I see Belly. I've seen Belly float up a couple times, but didn't put the face to the name. Was like, oh, that's a great body surfing meme. I've never seen that before. That's incredible.
But he's kind of like the king of comedy, body surfing comedy. And I think it would be great if he did like a Netflix special, but it was all body surfing jokes.
I was thinking about that. I actually, I hope this doesn't get stolen on this show, but I had an idea to film something, whether it goes on TikTok, Twitter, I haven't decided yet. But I want to do stand-up paddleboard comedy, right? Dress up as a go on the stand-up paddleboard, and the paddleboard's like the mic, and I would get like a brick wall attached to my suit, like behind me, and I'd like go out like at like the piers, like one of the piers here, and just like see if I can just gather a crowd with like a waterproof mic and a speaker in the water and just see.
I would be very interested to see how that goes. That'd be hilarious, man.
Trying to be cutting edge here. You know, I had an idea for a crosswalk comedy where it's the same thing, but you have 30 seconds to walk across the street, you know, and you're giving people your like 30-second set and trying to make these just strangers laugh, you know, timing the streets. But you got to push boundaries. You got to try and, you know, see what works.
I can just imagine Belly getting up though and doing like, hey, you notice the difference between people who wear budgies and people that wear sweatsuits, and just doing like real cliche stuff.
I think it'd be hilarious. I honestly think it would be almost equally as funny if the crowd got it. If they didn't, I would go and just like, I think that would be the act. And I think it would be one of the very rare acts where like the lack of response would be part of the humor. You know, it just goes up and just does this real niche stuff that just, you know, doesn't really reach. But it's a good point about body surfing. It's kind of what we like about it, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a double-edged sword. It's so rare, and even down here where it's so, you know, I mean, here the difference is you can kind of like squint down the beach and see, oh, is he on a bodyboard or body surfing? Oh, I think that's a body surfer, and it's kind of common. It's decently common, you know. You'll see 4 or 5 guys average in the water, but still far lower percentage. But
yeah. 2 days ago, we've kind of opened bars up again. You can have like 50 people in a bar. You've got to space out. So someone ran a room, and my mate got up and he did a bit of bodyboarding material.
Oh my God.
The first time I've ever seen anyone do any surf-related comedy. And I told him, like, I've got this podcast, you should come on. So we'll try and get him on soon. Sam Kisanjukia is his name.
What's his name?
Sam Kisanjukia, and
nice.
He's quite a big stand-up. You know, he's gone to New York, he's gone to Edinburgh, he's travelled to Berlin. He's big in the Sydney scene, also the Perth scene. So it would be cool to get him on and get a different perspective of sort of that body surf culture.
Yeah. I mean, when I don't know, when I saw the picture of Barack Obama body surfing, I thought that was our break. I thought that was our big break, honestly.
Yeah.
Even his form was decent, not great. You know, they got the hand kind of like that, you know. But I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna do it? And then just it lost traction so quickly.
I'm guessing, you know, he's a native Hawaiian.
You know,
even though Trump says he's from Kenya.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to read the stories on him too. If you've ever read any articles in high school about him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm guessing everyone who lives in Hawaii knows how to body surf.
At some degree, it's kind of, at some degree, you have to just be able to take that wave, you know, into the waters at some point in your life.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some body surfing. I can see some flippers behind you, man.
I got my array. Some of them are my girlfriend's, some of them are mine. So I just wanted to throw it all out there because the back was pretty drab. So I was just trying to see what I could throw in frame to, you know, liven up the picture a little bit.
So take us through everything. What's in your floppy bucket?
Well, I don't actually have a floppy bucket at the moment because of COVID. My entire car has all of my college shit in it.
Okay.
It's, you know, so my floppy bucket is going to be, I'm going back down. I work at a kayak in La Jolla. I work at a kayak tour guide. So I'm a kayak tour guide. So I'm using my fins every day. So I'm definitely going to get my floppy bucket in order. But so I just got these, the Yuccas Standard Flex. I got these in the mail a couple days ago. So I've been loving them.
in Budgie Boy colors as well.
Absolutely. You know, I didn't
Blue.
actually rock that. My girlfriend got these for me, but these were my favorite colors
They look great.
that he is offering. And those, and if you know about anything about the Yucca fins, is he does a colorway, and most of the times it doesn't make a comeback. So once that sells out of your size, so you order these, and they ran out of my size in process. But he's such a great guy. He gets things on time, but he just missed I slipped through the cracks, and he got me an extra large, and then gave me through in the padding for free because he's just that kind of guy. So
yeah, and we've been in touch with him, and we're getting him on the podcast soon. So that's
oh my god! I was just about to say, like, I mean, if you're getting me on here, there's a billion other, like, you know, I've been doing my, you know, I've been interning for politicians and studying, and I actually had my dry spell of body surfing for like probably a little 6-month period of just not being able to get to the beach, and even being that close, it's, you know, it's sad. So I finally, honestly, quarantine hit, and I just started losing some weight, getting out in the water, and it's kind of coming back for sure, because I've been doing it since junior lifeguard days when I was like 9. So
yeah, wow.
It's kind of like a break for me. So it's nice to get back in and practice my spins and underwater takeoffs again. and I'm starting up, and I'm kind of like relearning with all. If I'm sure you follow all his Instagram posts and stuff. You know, he is a fountain of knowledge. So I mean, and I love that he's an early morning riser too, because I wake up and sometimes I'll either have your podcast going or his Instagram story just playing in my pocket. You know, it's just how to get out at wedge, you know, how to properly take care of your fins and your zippers for whatever gear you want. You know, it's and he explains, he gives you the rundown of the flexes really well, and I can feel the difference. The full length rail is insane. I'm not kidding. I really wasn't expecting. Again, I'm not even trying to bash him, but I have my old beat up to fins here that I've been using forever.
Yeah.
You notice they're a different size too.
They're so much smaller, aren't they?
Right. Yeah, and that's an extra large, and one is a large and one's a medium. I call this one like my Nemo fin, my lucky fin, because it's smaller. So, but yeah, I mean, and I notice a difference. Just the full length rail, instead of kicking really fast, I'm just doing a couple big scissors, and I'm getting on things timing wise too that I've never really felt before. Like dropping and being able to do a lot of nice pull-in lates, you know.
Often with that extra propulsion, you compromise comfort. Are they still comfy?
I mean, even I actually ordered a pair of the scraps today because they were selling out fast. If you saw the eco-friendly ones, I kind of jumped on that, and I got the large, not the extra large, but the soft. So I'm imagining they're gonna be just as comfy with the pads. I mean, right here you get a little pressure, but again, I call these are big boy fins. You know, like these are, especially the standard flexes. You know, I get in the water with them, and if you're not used to them, for someone like me who hasn't been on the water too, you're gonna feel a little weight. But then once you start kind of working with that weight, it's again, not even like it's heavy, but it's just, you just get used to that kind of, again, you talk about that compromise, and it's a great compromise. Let me tell you that. It doesn't even feel like a compromise at all. It's comfy. And these are the most rigid ones too. So that's why I'm like, oh, these are the quote unquote rigid ones. And then there's the softs and then the ultra softs where he's freaking snapping those things back all the way, you know? And if you see on the story, you know, they're getting run over by cars, you know, and they're fine. So.
Now, what sort of hand planes do you use?
You know, I don't use hand planes.
Oh, cool.
I really don't. I don't know what what you guys call that, what your slang for that is, but I kind of just like to free float it out there. Yeah. I definitely use them. I've looked at Super Biscuit a couple times to see.
Yeah.
I've also looked into, of course, like everyone looks into making them because, you know, it's a little less intimidating and costly if you fuck up than a whole surfboard, you know. Yeah. But I definitely am interested in trying them. I think I definitely just, again, obviously hesitation is swimming with them in big surf. But again, I've seen what they can do, and I know how much you can, you know, much more likely to make it out of things and hold that line. But
it's interesting because body surfing isn't like a huge sport here, but it's starting to, you know, pipe up a bit. And
absolutely, yeah.
Some surf shops, like most surf shops now, stock at least 1 or 2 hand planes.
Oh yeah, I mean down here they've got all the only question down here is when are they going to put the yuccas in? And most of them already have them. So I mean, yeah.
So you've seen a lot of the slide stuff around, and what else is big in California?
Actually, I'm trying to think slide. I'm trying to think about hand plane brands. I for sure seen slide. I have not seen Wall at all.
Yes, it's exclusive. Yeah, it's more an Australian brand, but they would ship definitely over.
Absolutely, yeah. I've definitely looked into it. I've looked at kind of what you guys have going on there, what we have with like the custom ones. There's one that I think is more local called like Dutch. I don't know if you've heard of that one. Those ones are really nice to get, like these nice kind of like leather straps. But yeah, there's some nice ones. I definitely want to look into it once I start kind of getting the feel for my new fins and the setup and my style. Definitely want to incorporate some hand play in there.
Yep.
Also going to look into the Yucca mini boogs. Those things look absolutely legendary.
Yeah.
I like holding it out straight and just like tucking it under your forearm and just letting it go. But absolutely. Definitely going to try and get some toys for sure when I get my job back and have a little more income to throw around for sure.
Awesome. Another good Australian brand is Ecto. I don't know if you've heard or seen their stuff, but if you're not used to using a hand plane, they make some nice small light ones. It's a good entry level one to sort of. They're easy to swim with, but they also let you plane really nicely. Okay. So it's something to look at, but again, it might be hard to ship it over.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see right now. I mean, I just ordered some like paint pens to draw on these bad boys, put some art on them. And then I saw that there was an Amazon warehouse that just got set on fire, like locally. I woke up in the morning news and I'm like, well, I don't know when those paint pens are going to come. It says next Thursday, but I'm going to be shocked if they come at all, But,
when are you hoping to get back into the water? Are you going to be doing a bit over the weekend?
I mean, I've been in the water, like I said, for the last 4 days. This morning I woke up and it was raining, which was very strange.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to try and get back tomorrow morning. I've been looking at the waves and it's kind of, again, I don't know, surfline just, screws me over a lot of times. So I'm not talking too shittily on them, but sometimes I just like to go, especially when I'm this close. I feel a little much like a press if I, just like look online, might as well take the 10-minute drive down there. But yeah, we'll see when I go. I'm hopefully going to try and go tomorrow morning, the next day. We'll see. I have a lot of free time. I'm in finals right now, but those are kind of winding down. So I got summer's starting soon. So I'm definitely going to.
I think you're better off just going down. We have a group chat and people are often going, oh, it's not looking that good. I'm looking at the cameras. I'm looking at the swell net. Often you just go down and it's a lot better than you think. And
absolutely, you can find more things.
And you can body surf anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also get frustrated. A lot of our friends like try and go to different spots and try and work out what's working. And sometimes it's just better just to jump in. Don't worry too much.
That's what I'm saying. Even with surfing too, and it's definitely like a generational thing. That's why I don't think it's like a water. It's like what flotation device or not you're using. There just seems to be this idea of like, people used to just go out every day. And like, I mean, in Newport Beach, you have these parking lots, and you see these old guys and they don't care. They're out in the parking lot with their coffees in the morning, hanging out with each other. And if the waves are good, they're good. And if they stay out for 3 hours, they stay out for 3 hours. If they just paddle out for 10 minutes and come back in, but I think just, there's not this idea of just getting in the water anymore. It's, gotta make sure it's firing or my gear's ready or, if my photographer's not coming down to get the shots, like it's ridiculous. All people do is make excuses to not get in the water. I feel like nowadays sometimes it's like a crotchety old man, but that's how it is.
It's weird, and I'm guessing the water temperature is always pretty good where you're at.
It's pretty solid. I have a 3.2 Vissla 7 Seas wetsuit.
Oh, really?
That thing gets it done. Now I will say it's probably because the user poor care, not the company at all. I had a scare the other day because it's old. I haven't pulled out in a while, and the zipper, like it's a pullover. So the thing that locks the zipper in place broke the little snap part that it snaps into.
Right.
So one of the waves I actually sent you, it's pretty kind of heavy there, but small, and I wasn't used to the power, and it pulled my zipper open and just filled with water immediately.
Oh, geez.
I looked like Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka. I'm not even kidding. And I was floating around in the impact zone with this, looking like a before picture of myself. Like, it was crazy. And I had to, try and filter it out to get back inside. But it worked the next couple of days.
Have you got a pair of budgies? Do you ever just jump in with the budgies?
I don't jump in with budgies. I jump in with board shorts. I'm pretty good with cold water too. I definitely, a lot of times, especially in San Diego, a lot of times I can remember past spring, just, almost getting too hot in the mornings in my wetsuit and just jumping out and putting on my trunks again and just going out, You feel a little more numb and cold, but to me, I like the movement that it offers, especially with body surfing when it really is. You have to feel the water and the propulsion and the energy. Yeah. I think it's pretty important to just kind of get dialed in.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Definitely. People are a little hesitant to, go nothing, but obviously the wedge guys, a lot of them do rock the budgies.
Can you even buy them at shops in America?
I mean, I think you got to go and they would think you're a swimmer or a water polo player. So
yeah.
Or County, huge water polo hub of almost the world, arguably, for sure. Probably the United States, California. So, I mean, they definitely sell them in in most probably swim shops or maybe not surf shops, but I think you could find them for sure around. Yeah. They're there.
Well, in
But
Australia, there's a lot of overlap with body surfing and water polo, and
yeah.
there's a team here called the Bay Body Bashers, and pretty much
Yeah,
all their members are water polo players. And
I was just listening to the one about them going the body womping when they just went when they're like 15 in the morning after their practice. That's pretty.
yeah,
It's pretty fun to get an introduction that way, I think.
and we're very lucky to have Uga, who
Yeah.
he works for Keel Down Under, and they are very good quality swimmers. Like they're designed for water polo, and they just don't come off.
They're not supposed to come off at all. They have guys tugging and ripping at them all day. So
so
wave
perfect for body surfing. And,
I saw you guys out on your story this morning. It seemed like you guys have been getting some good swell lately. It looked like the kind of old cast and crew was out together.
The boys are out at Cronulla, and our team captain Owie is doing a bit of a round trip. He's going south and then north, so
Nice.
he's probably doing a 3-hour drive today to get back home. But he was surfing at a spot called Mystics down the south coast, which is a great surf. It's a little wedge, probably not what you would call a wedge, but it kind of works sometimes.
Yeah, wedge is a wedge for sure. Yeah.
and then the Richie Didge crew there just heading out to Cronulla. So yeah, there's probably a few photos up there of the boys getting in their wetsuits because it is chilly. It is really cold.
Oh yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys get a variation in water temperature?
Oh, it's normally lovely. Like we through summer we're in there in our budgies and you stay in for hours.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's only now that it's starting to cool down and get a bit icy, but a steamer's going to get you through. So
definitely.
it's still Australia, mate. It's still hot.
Yeah, that's what's California. It's the same thing. It's still California. I mean, you definitely can get up north, and it definitely, you get up north, and it gets like you got to probably in the wintertime wear, your little squid lid and everything, but booties. But again, it's not. You see people doing it in Oregon and Washington, and even further up north. So how can you complain?
Exactly. Well, Sam, it's been really, really fun talking to you. I can't believe we got to talk about Rodney Dangerfield on the Bodysurf.
I know. We really covered the range of topics here on a bodysurfing podcast, no less. How awesome.
It's been really fun. Would you like to do the sign-off?
I would love to, and I remember it well. It's always overhead when you're body surfing. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Take care. Okay. Is the lighting good? Can you?
Yeah, it's great. It looks good.
Put some cardboard and shit in the windows because we got a lot of afternoon sun. We got a lot of afternoon sun streaming in through here.
Very professional.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best with what I've got. But yeah, absolutely.